Now let's take a look at the delete and undelete operation in this video. So I have 5 test accounts in my Salesforce org, and we are going to delete these test accounts through Apex. So let's open our anonymous window, and first we are going to query these records. So we are going to store them in a list of account. Let's query these accounts. And our where condition would be where name is like test account. And then we are going to add an ampersand symbol in the end so that we get all the test accounts. After we get our results, now we need to delete these account records. And for that, we are going to use our delete DML statement. So we'll simply need to write delete, and then we need to pass, or we need to specify the list of records we want to delete. So again, it could be either one single record or a list of record like this. And let's execute this query. Let's take a look at our DML logs. And here it says we had a DML operation type of delete, and this was on account object, and total rows affected were 5. So the number of DML rows that we have deleted were 5 in one single DML statement. Now let's go back to our account record SQL query, and here let's refresh this grid, and now we are only getting 13 records instead of 18 records. So this is how you can use the delete DML statement to delete your records. Very similar to this delete DML statement, we also have database.delete method, which is very similar to the previous database methods that we have seen. Here you can specify if you want to allow partial record success or not, and it's not going to throw any exception if any of the account was not deleted. Let me add some comments here. Let's add a comment here like delete using DML statement, and let's add one more comment here, delete using database methods. Awesome. So now this is how we can delete our records from Salesforce org using the delete DML statement. Now let's talk about undeleting a record. So we have deleted 5 test accounts just now from our Salesforce org. What about bringing them back from recycle bin? So if we'll go to your Salesforce org and let's search for recycle bin here. Let me just zoom it a bit. So you would see that I have 5 test accounts that I have just deleted. What about bringing them back from recycle bin to the account object? So let's go back to our developer console. First we need to query these account records, and then only we can undelete them. So for that, let me close this anonymous window, and we are going to get these account records from our SQL query first. So here you will notice that by default an SQL query only results the not deleted records. So here we are getting 13 rows, but what about the records that we have just deleted? So if you want your search result to include the deleted records as well, then in that case we need to append a keyword here at the end of your SQL query, and these keywords are all rows. Once you include this all rows term in your SQL query, then you should be able to get the deleted records as well. Let's execute this query. For some reason, we have got an error in our query editor when we are trying to add these keywords, which is all rows. But if we'll execute this query from our anonymous window, we should be able to execute it. Let's get a list of account, and let's call them like deleted accounts, and let's paste our query here. Oops. Let's execute this single SQL query. Click on execute highlighted. We didn't get any error, and we should be able to see how many rows we are getting in our debug logs. So it's returning us 18 rows instead of 13 rows that we are getting in our SQL query from the query editor panel. But this doesn't solve our purpose either, because now we are getting all the account records from our Salesforce org. Doesn't matter if these records are deleted or not deleted, but what we are interested in is only the deleted records. So for that we need to put one more condition in our SQL query. So let's open our anonymous window, and here along with this all rows keywords we need to add a where condition, and this where condition would be is deleted equals to true. So this is a field that is automatically created by Salesforce, and this is marked as true if the record is deleted. So in our case we are only interested in those records which were deleted, so we are using is deleted equals to true, and you can use this condition with any of your custom object or standard object. Let's click on execute highlighted, and this time we should only be able to get 3 records. Let's filter our logs, and we have got 5 rows. Yeah, because we have deleted 5 records. So now our task is to undelete these records, right? So let's open our anonymous window again, and here first let's add a comment, get deleted account records, and undelete these records. For that we simply need to use our undelete DML statement, and after that you can either specify one single record or a list of records. So let's click on execute highlighted. Let's wait for our logs to open and search for DML here. So this time we ran a undelete operation on account object, and total number of rows were 5. So if we'll go to our query editor again, let me close these logs. So here if we'll refresh our grid, this time we are getting 18 records, because all of these records that we deleted earlier, they are now restored. So this is how you can use delete and undelete operation in Apex.